Hey everyone, it's your girl Monica Leigh, and welcome to another episode of the Drive Thru Podcast, where we pull up, we talk real, and we keep it honest. So, let's get right into today's episode. And this one right here, I think a lot of us can definitely relate to it. Because at some point in your life, you're going to be faced with a decision. Play it safe or bet on yourself. And the truth is, that second option, it doesn't come with guarantees at all. So, where is it that the moment you know? You ever have that feeling? Like deep down, you just know. You know you are meant for more. You know something isn't sitting right. And you know you're being called to do something bigger. But then, as usual, here comes fear. It shows up. Oh, yeah. And let's throw doubt into there. Doubt showing up right behind that. And then logic starts talking. You know, what if it doesn't work? Or what if I fail? Or what if I lose everything? This is actually a very relatable topic in today where we are in this world, right? We are sometimes being positioned to dream that we always wondered if, maybe it could work out, right? But then, the fear, the doubt, they show up and we then become hesitant or we start questioning it. And then now you're stuck between what feels right and what feels safe. And I think a lot of times we automatically go with what feels safe. Because why? Because it's comfortable to us. And in that moment, that usually is what makes the most sense to us. So why is betting on yourself scary? Why is it? I mean, let's be real. Betting on yourself is scary because there's no blueprint. There is no blueprint. No guarantee, no safety net. Just a few things that help us put our mind to ease. Because when you actually bet on yourself, you are literally saying, I trust me. And you would think just saying that, it could be so much easier said than done, but not at all, right? So when you bet on yourself, you are saying, I trust me. Or even if it doesn't make sense right now, I'm still going to trust me. Or even if nobody else sees it, I trust me. And I think a lot of times we could initially go with the everyone and anyone mentality that if nobody else sees it, at least we see it, right? It always circles back to that. So these are realistic ways of feeling or thinking. And that kind of confidence, it doesn't come from comfort. It comes from stepping out on faith, belief in yourself, right? We like to call it, or most of us have heard it at one point or another in our life, especially when we're deciding something or we're contemplating something big, something that really needs us to think about it carefully and consciously, right? And that's faith over fear, okay? Because fear is loud. It's loud even when we can't hear it, but it is loud to us, right? It's loud to us, the person that is going through it, the person that's thinking about, oh, what's next? Or what if I decide to do this instead? Okay? And it will talk you out of everything. I know fear has talked me out of several things in life. And it will convince you to stay where you are, even when you're unhappy. And it goes back to my saying, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay? But faith, in regards to fear, faith is quiet. Faith, on the other hand, is that small voice that says, go anyway, try anyway. Hey, you right there, start anyway. Faith it's almost like you could think of somebody that is influencing you. At the time, maybe it seems like a bad decision, right? But in actuality, it could actually be that one thing that you need to kind of get out of your own way. And a lot of us tend to stand in front of our own selves on a regular basis. We don't know how to get out of our own way. We don't. And it's okay because it's just a way that we are as human beings. It's like we're programmed to pump the brakes when anything that we go through feels like a bad idea. But the thing about faith, honestly, you don't need to see the whole path. You don't. Most of the times we don't at all, right? It starts with just the idea. And that idea definitely has a long map, a long road, a long journey. And there might be detours, and it's okay. But initially, we're not thinking like, oh yeah, we definitely could do this. This is going to just be just an easy peasy sort of thing. We always tend to stand in front of what we really want to do because of the fear. And when the faith comes in, it's telling you, just do it anyway. Okay? So really, you just need to take the first step. That's it. You just need to take the first step. And once you do that, it seems like you can actually take that breath, exhale, and be like, I did it. I did it. Okay? I mean, like we always, have spoken and heard growing up from our parents or our friends or even, siblings, is that, just do what you want to do. And if it doesn't work out, just hit the reset button. As an adult, we don't really look at things like that. And especially, the more responsibilities you have, kids, career, all of that, these all play a factor. So feeling this way is definitely an okay thing, and it's normal. And that comes down to trusting your instincts, right? That's where it really boils down to. Trusting your instincts. Are we really thinking with a clear head? Or are we just in the moment because we just saw somebody else, just completely go from what appeared to have, the perfect life to, you know what? Let's just drop all that and I'm going to start something brand new, right? Or I'm just going to move from where I've been living comfortably, good area, just good friends. And guess what? Let's just move. Right? Which is more like what could come across as being very impulsive. But your instincts, they usually don't lie. That gut feeling, it's usually spot on. But we just ignore them sometimes because we're used to asking for validation, waiting for permission. And sometimes that's not even from somebody else. That's we're waiting on ourselves. We are waiting for ourselves to say yes. But guess what? The more that we wait on ourselves, sometimes we tend to be more hesitant, right? It's easier for somebody else to suggest, oh, why don't you do this? And they can go ahead and lay it all out to you, letting you know X, Y, and Z, and this is why it would work out. We're a little bit more conformed to leaning into what somebody says instead of just trusting what we know is best for us and what's right for us. So start betting on yourself, because that's really what it comes down to, right? But the thing is, though, is when you start betting on yourself, you also stop asking, what do they think? And start asking, what do I feel? When you start betting on yourself, you stop asking, what do they think? And start asking, what do I feel? Because guess what? You matter. You need to make sure that you are good with this decision and that you are wanting to do this. Not with the other 10 people that are in your ear or that are texting you or that are emailing you saying, oh, well, you know what? I think this would be good for you. No, start with you. And obviously, with this, it also comes to you're not always going to get it right. Okay? I mean, let's just be honest. Betting on yourself doesn't mean everything will go perfectly. In fact, you might make mistakes. Hello, aren't we human? I mean, we're going to continue making mistakes for the rest of our lives. Not necessarily on purpose, right? Or at least hopefully not. But making mistakes is part of life. The bottom line is that you learn from those mistakes. So you redirect, correct, and keep it moving forward, okay? Besides mistakes, what else? You're going to take losses. This is so real. This is so real because it's true. Think about starting a new business, moving somewhere new. You know, you initially think it sounds great. It's going to be perfect because what you're telling yourself. But you're also at that moment, because we are in the moment, right? We are not thinking that far along the woulda, coulda, shoulda. We are in the moment. So taking losses, it's a real outcome, but it doesn't have to be the permanent outcome. And then, of course, you're going to have moments where you're just going to start questioning everything. Like you are really going to sit and start judging yourself. Even possibly comparing your decision to maybe what other people did. And, oh, well, you know, they did it. I can do it. Yeah, they had some, trouble in the beginning and, but guess what? It worked out for them. Yeah. But guess what? That doesn't translate to that's the way it's going to work out for you as well. But here's the difference, okay? You're learning. You're learning and you're growing. And when you're learning and growing and you take those two key elements together and put them together, you are moving in the right direction. You're not stalling. You're not stagnant. You are moving in the right direction. And the only direction that needs to be focused on is the one moving forward. Okay? And guess what? It's still a win. It's still a win. And then comes the real reward. Because the real reward isn't just the outcome. It's who you become in the process. That's such an amazing feeling, right? Because you're feeling all the emotions, right? And you are learning to go through these things. And as you're going through all these things, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, you are growing. So the real reward is who you become during this process. And what do you get from the process? Gaining confidence, gaining strength, and just the belief in yourself. That's so important. It's so important. And that's what changes everything. That is the game changer. That is the game changer. So at the end of the day, as maybe you're contemplating on something changing in your life, but you are hesitant to know where to start, how to start, what are people going to think? At the end of the day, make sure that you bet on you first. Because, again, the belief in yourself, it's the beginning of what could end up turning out to be such a powerful thing in the long run. And guess what? You will be so happy that you did. So, as we get ready to wrap up today's episode, that's really what it comes down to. Just choosing you. And more importantly, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, still bet on you. And if you've been sitting on something, as I mentioned earlier, if you've been feeling like that pull or that nudge or that I should go for it energy, well, guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, this is your reminder that you do not need permission and that you don't need guarantees. You just need to believe in yourself enough to try, because at the end of the day, nobody is going to bet on you harder than you. Say it, mean it, stand on that. So, as it has come to the end, which, I love it when you guys show up and hang out with me. But as we come to the end, let me remind you, we have every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a new episode that drops. Make sure that you tune in, same place, same time, and don't forget to pull up and come see me at the Drive Thru. And until then, you make sure, take care of you. See you soon. Bye.